Hello everyone, this is Divesh Goyal, practicing company secretary from Delhi. So today in this video, we are going to specifically discuss about the practical exposure or practical filing of the DPT-3. As we have received so many queries in the last webinar on the DPT-3, and all those queries we have discussed in the last webinar, even after the webinar, so many person has messaged me about the queries. We have tried our best to resolve all those such queries. So today in this video, we will practically show you how to file the DPT-3, how we can approach for the DPT-3 on the MCA website. So many questions we are receiving on the every day. As we know, 31st July is the last date for filing of the DPT-3. So this is the peak time when we are doing this webinar. And I say thanks to all the viewers who are watching this webinar right now, because this is the peak time. If even this time we are watching this webinar, then we can definitely say there are so many issues and so many doubts we are having on the DPT-3. That's why today we are attending, you all are attending this webinar. So as some people are still joining, as we have said, we will start at 6 o'clock. So we will take 2-3 minutes so that everyone can join. Meantime, I will discuss just basic about the DPT-3. So we know this year the date of the DPT-3 is 31st July. Generally, it became the 30th June. So it doesn't seem that there will be any extension, because I have received so many messages since morning. People are asking whether there will be any extension on the DPT-3, but it doesn't seem that there will be any extension, because ministry have already given the extension, and lot of people, lot of companies have already filed their DPT-3. So this is my first suggestion to all of you. Don't wait for this. Don't wait whether there will be extension or not. Please go and file your DPT-3, because एक बहुत important चीज क्या है, there is nothing like if we will not file on the time, we have to pay additional fees. Additional fees not a big thing. The big thing, the major thing which will impact all of us, that is the penalties which the ROC can impose. These days we have seen ROCs are imposing the penalties and issuing the adjudication notices for delay in filing of the form. So delay does not cause us only additional fees. Delay can cause us also the we can say penalties also. That penalties can be in the lakhs. So it is my personal suggestion to everyone. Please file your DPT-3 on time to save your client from the client from the penalties, even those the heavy penalties which the ROC is imposing on the regular basis. So there are the 3 days. Try your best and complete your DPT-3 filing in those 3 days, so that there will be no additional fees and there will be no penalties also on the client for delay in the filing of the form. Because recently we have seen in the case of the band 2, the companies which have filed the band 2 with delay, the ROC has imposed the penalty in lakhs, like 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh, something like this. So we don't have to repeat it here. We have to file DPT-3 on time so that there will be no such heavy penalties on the clients. Another thing, second point, today I will show you how to file practically DPT-3 and how the information and thing will be mentioned under the DPT-3. I will show you practical of the same. But before that, I just want to say one thing to all of you. Whatever question, whatever query you will receive, are you having in your mind, please share all the such queries, and we can say whatever question in your mind in the chat box of the YouTube and the chat box of the Zoom. Please ask your queries, because I will try today to take all the question, because of peak time hai. We are already on 28. अगले 3 दिनों में आपको सारे forms file करने हैं, complete करने हैं. So let's use this peak time and don't waste time. So I will take approximately an hour for all of you and will discuss everything of the DPT-3. So इस वीडियो में मैं practical ही discuss करने वाला हूँ. बट उस प्रैक्टिकलिटी के अलावा भी अगर आपके कोई डाउट है, आपके कोई क्वेश्चन है, प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क योर क्वेश्चन एंड कंटिन्यू put your question in the chat box so that I can easily take up them. So let me just share my screen and let's start our webinar with the practical filing of the, we can say, MCV3. So जब भी हम practical filing की बात करते हैं, तो there are the so many things in our mind कि MCV3 का हमें पता है कि सब structure change हो चुका है, so many things has been changed. So I have taken you to the MCV3 portal. So MCV3 portal पे एक पहले basic चीज मैं clear कर देता हूँ. Only the business user ID you can file this form. You cannot file this form with the registered user ID. Someone mentioned I am not able to hear. I just want to ask everyone whether my voice is coming. Am I audible to you? Please message so that it can be confirmed. Ki yes, voice is going to everyone. So we are filing the form on, okay, audible, thank you so much. So we are filing this form on the MCA V3 portal, and V3 portal only business user can file this form, registered user cannot file. So on V3 portal, definitely the structure has been changed from the last year. We have to go on the MCA services. MCA services, there is the company e-filing option. Company e-filing option, there is the deposit related filing, and here is the DPT-3 form. Once you will click on the DPT-3 form, it will be there on your screen and you can go further for the filing of this form. So as this is on the screen, DPT-3, return of the deposit as per Rule 16 and Rule 16A. We have discussed in the last, we can say, webinar about the Form 16 and Rule 16 and Rule 16A. अगर उस पे भी किसी को still any doubt, you can definitely ask to me. So let me start filing of the DPT-3. So there is the option of the company name search. So I'm just searching the name of the one company, and let me just search the name. So once you will search the name and click on the name, the complete thing will be there, complete information will be there. So we are not going to discuss, we will discuss this point number 3, and this is one of the most important point of the DPT-3. Why I'm saying most important? Because on the regular basis, till now I'm receiving the queries from the professional key whether which option we have to select for the DPT-3. So see, there are the 4 remote buttons. Every button have their own specification. Whatever button you will click, accordingly the further option in the form will open. So there are the 4 buttons. Return of deposit is one. Second, particular of the transaction by company not considered as deposit. Third one is the return of deposit and particulars of transaction of company not considered deposit. So practically option 3. Option 3 club the option number 1 and option number 2 together. And the last one is the one-time return. So first, let me describe about the one-time return. This form DPT-3 has been launched in 2019. 2019 was the year when first time Ministry have launched the DPT-3 form. So that time Ministry asked every company which was incorporated before this launching of this form, the Ministry asked every company to file the DPT-3 as a one-time filing. So that time we have used this one-time filing option. If you have already filed it is in 2019, then as on date, you don't require to use this option. So practically as on date, companies have practically 3 remote buttons. Return of deposit, particular note considered as deposit, and third one, return of deposit plus particular note considered as deposit. In last video, I have discussed about the return of deposit and particular note considered as deposit. I will just give 2 minutes and again clarify that. Return of deposit. As we know, as per the definition of the deposit under Chapter 5 of the Rule 2, it is specifically mentioned some transactions, some 16 transactions, which will not be considered as deposit, like loan from director, loan from relative of the director, loan from any bank, loan from the financial institution. These type of transactions shall not consider as deposit. These transaction will consider only particular note considered as deposit. So, agar if you have done the transaction only out of those 16, then always you have to click on this remote button number 2. But if you have any loan other than those 16 options, then you may have to click on the return of deposit and this third option. Now I tell you one basic thing, 99% of the private limited companies will click on the remote button number 2. Now the question is why? Why the 99% of the private limited company will click on the remote button 2? The reason is because the private company cannot take loan from the outsider. Private company cannot take the deposit. Private company can only take the loans which are particular not considered as deposit. So 99% private company will click on the remote button number 2. This is particular of the transaction by company not considered as deposit. But there is the one, we can say one transaction for which private company also have to click whether on the 1 or whether on the 3. That transaction is loan from shareholder. Loan from shareholder, as we have already discussed in the last video, and I have already published some videos from the loan from shareholder, that private companies are allowed to take loan from shareholder as per exemption notification 5th June 2015 and 13 June 2017. So if a private company, you have taken loan from your shareholder, although it is a exempted deposit, but according to the structure of this form, they have not covered in remote button number 2. So loan from shareholder, if your company is having, then you have to click the remote button number 1 or remote button number 3. Now let me clarify one by one all three options in next 2 minutes. Return of deposit. In case of private company, if you are having the loan from shareholder, definitely you have to click on the return of deposit. But loan from shareholder, plus you are having all other loans also which are mentioned under the rule 2 of the chapter 5, then you have to click on the return of deposit and in particular not considered as deposit, because in return of deposit you will mention shareholder loan, and particular not considered as deposit you will mention the other loans like loan from bank, loan from director, loan from the financial institution, this type. But if your private company is not having any loan from the shareholder, then I must tell you, you have to click only remote button number 2. If in this case you have to click any other option, you can say कि आपकी company ने default किया है, your company is the non-compliance of deposit, because private company can take loan only which are mentioned under chapter 5 rule 2 definition. उसके अलावा सिर्फ एक ही लोन है जो वहां नहीं लिखा और प्राइवेट कंपनी ले सकती है, वो है लोन रिटर्न ऑफ द डिपॉजिट. So make sure कि if your company is filing this form and clicking on the return of deposit and put this 1 or 3 option, that is only for the shareholder loan. So hope I have clarified this option. All three option has been clarified to you. So let's move. I'm clicking on the return of deposit. First, I'm clicking on the particular of the transaction by company not considered as deposit, because maximum private companies, as I said, 99% private company remote button number 2 ही choose करने वाली है. So मैं आपको पहले remote button number 2 choose करके आगे form को बढ़ाते हैं. So यहाँ पे option है whether company is a public or private. We are talking about the private company in this video. Whether company is a government company, I will say no. Now, sixth number column, object of the company. In the maximum form, whatever we have filed in our office, whatever I have discussed with the other professional, in the maximum form, the object of the companies are coming wrong, because this is the pre-fill object. Ministry is giving the pre-fill object, but they are not matching with my MOA. They are not matching with my financial statement. So this is, we can say you can change here. This option is editable. So please don't rush on this option. Please mention the actual object of the company, whatever mentioned in your memorandum of association. Only those objects you have to mention here. Next, whether deposit has been accepted from the public. Make sure private company cannot accept the loan from the public. So you have to click it here as a no. As I have mentioned the private company, this is not allowing me to click on this option. Then column number 8, period for which return is filed. We are filing this return for the financial year ending 31st March 2023. So I'm selecting here 31st March 2023 because इसी financial year के लिए हम ये form practically file कर रहे हैं. So I have selected this. Now there is the option column number 9, net worth as per the latest audit balance sheet. Now if you will see, if you are clicking on the remote button number 2, this form is not allowing you to mention the net worth detail. However, till last year, whenever you have filed DPT-3, you must seen कि this form was mandatorily asking for the net worth details, whether the deposit, whether the not deposit. But this year, Ministry have made the changes in the form. If you click on the remote button number 2, you don't require to mention the details of the net worth of the company. So as right now we have clicked remote button number 2, that is particular not considered as deposit. So we are not, don't have to mention these information. I'm moving forward from the column number 9. Column number 10, total number of deposit holders. This is also not applicable in case of remote button number 2. Column number 11, particular of deposit. This is also not applicable in case of remote button number 2. But if you have clicked on the remote button number 1 or 3, then all these information you have to fill. I will show it later on. Particular of the liquid asset, this is also not required in remote button number 2, and particular of the charges, this is also not required. So we have to click on the save button and then we have to move next. As I move next, this column number 15 is the most important column of the DPT-3, because in this column you have to mention about the details of your loan, details of your advances, the purpose for which you are filing this form you have to mention here. Again, I will say to everyone who have joined this webinar, please mention your queries, your question in the chat box of the YouTube or the Zoom, so that we can take up you with all the things which we want to answer in today's webinar. And will help you to clarify the doubt. So particular of the receipt of money or loan by company but not considered as deposit at the end of the financial year. So एक चीज last webinar में भी हम clear कर चुके हैं. Whatever figure you have to mention here, those should be your final figure. Although audit is not completed of the companies because audit के लिए companies के पास time है September तक, but as per rule 16, which I have specifically shown in the last webinar, whatever figure you will mention here in column number 15, all these figures should be final figure. This should be definitely match with your DPT-3 which you are gonna file. The DPT-3 which you will file, the AOC for the balance sheet which you will file at the end of the year. So make sure whatever information you are mentioning, there should be audited figure and there should not be any difference between the audit figure and the figure mentioned here. So let's start with it. So for the purpose of this form, I have prepared one Excel sheet. I want to show that Excel sheet to all of you so that it can help us and we can say it will be easy for us to understand this form. Let me just click on it. So here's my Excel sheet. Hope it is visible to you. This sheet we have prepared as per the point number 15 of the form. You have seen the point number 15 of the form. So this point number 15 is asking some information and I have prepared the Excel sheet accordingly. Why I have prepared the Excel sheet? Because so that I can easily take the information from my client and easily can share with all of you. So here the first option, amount, any amount received from central government, state government, local authority or any statutory authority. So अगर आपकी कंपनी ने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से कुछ अमाउंट मिला है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से कुछ अमाउंट मिला है, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेल परचेज अमाउंट. कोई लोन मिला है, कोई सब्सिडी मिली है, anything like that if you have received, you have to mention here in the column number 1 and you can see same is column here. Any amount received from the central government, state government, local authority. So if you have received anything, mention here. If you have not received anything, then come forward. Then the next option you are having, any amount received from foreign government, foreign banks, multilateral financial institution, foreign collaborators, foreign body corporate. So foreign से related कुछ भी किसी से भी आपने amount लिया है, चाहे वो foreign government हो, individual हो, collaborators हो, body corporates हो, तो वो आपको amount यहाँ पर mention करनी है. और similarly form अगर मैं दिखाता हूँ तो form is also you have to mention here the foreign amount. This is column point 2. जब point 3 पे जाते हैं, any amount received from, ये थोड़ा important है, please ध्यान से सुनिएगा because यहाँ पे मेरे पास already बहुत सारे लोगों की queries आ चुकी है which I am going to discuss here. Any amount received from loan facility from bank. अब देखिए क्या होता है कि so many person have asked me because बैंक से रिलेटेड लोन के लिए ना यहाँ 2-3 डिफरेंट कैटेगरीज है. जैसे कि यहाँ देखिए लिखा हुआ है लोन और फैसिलिटी रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द बैंकिंग कंपनी, लोन रिसीव फ्रॉम द स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. फिर यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है लोन रिसीव फ्रॉम द शेड्यूल बैंक. सी अब आपको बहुत केयरफुली चलना है. अगर देयर आर द लोन फ्रॉम बैंक इन योर कंपनी, यू हैव टू चेक whether it is from a banking company or whether it is from a state bank or any subsidiary of the state bank or whether it is from any scheduled bank. Scheduled bank, there as per the RBI, banks can register under specific section 2 of the 1934. So then they can register as a scheduled bank. So if your company has registered as a scheduled bank, then वो scheduled bank की details आपको यहाँ पर mention करनी पड़ेगी. और other than scheduled bank like SBI, so you have to mention here. Loan from banking company, then you have to mention here. Now one point, many person have asked where to show the loan from NBFC. See, practically speaking, NBFC is not a banking company, it is a non-banking financial company. नाम specific है non-banking financial company. So NBFC is not a banking company, so we don't have to mention here. NBFC की जो detail mention करनी है, the loan from NBFC we have to mention, that we have to mention from the loan from the other company. So जैसा कि अभी एक्सेल शीट में मैंने दिखाया, जैसे बेसिक डाटा है, आई हैव टेकन ओपनिंग एज 1 लाख, तो आई विल मेंशन हियर 1 लाख. मेरा लास्ट ईयर का क्लोजिंग 1 लाख था, इस साल का ओपनिंग 1 लाख है. देन एडिशन, आई हैव टेकन 50,000 रुपीज लोन मोर ड्यूरिंग द ईयर एंड आई हैव रीपेड 30,000 रुपीज ड्यूरिंग द ईयर and there is no adjustment from my side. So you will see my closing balance will appear automatically. So my closing balance is automatically appeared. Now I am saying I don't have any loan from state bank, any other banking institution, so I have mentioned 0. Then next column पे आते हैं, fourth number. Any amount received from the loan or financial assistance from public financial institution. अगर आपने public financial institution से कुछ लिया है, any regional financial institution, insurance company. If you have taken from the insurance company anything, you have to specifically mention here. Then any loan from the scheduled bank. So many questions I have received about the loan from the scheduled bank like OD, CC. Now we are going to discuss. See, here I have given the example. I have 3 bank loans. Number one is I am having OD from the scheduled bank. I am having CC limit from the scheduled bank. I am having term loan or the vehicle loan from the scheduled bank. So first I will discuss about the OD. My opening balance of the OD was nil. But during the year, I have taken the limit of the OD. For an example, मैंने 1 crore की OD limit ली. But out of that 1 crore, मैंने use किया सिर्फ 5 lakh. तो मैंने यहाँ पे addition में mention किया 5 lakh. Then मैंने 2 lakh repay भी किया during the year. तो मैंने 2 lakh mention किया repay में. और मेरा closing balance आ गया, that is 3 lakh rupees. तो जिसका भी डाउट था कि ओडी का बैलेंस कैसे मेंशन करना है, अगर आपने जितने की भी ओडी ली हुई है, डजंट मैटर कितने अमाउंट की ओडी ली है, बट वट एवर यू हैव यूटिलाइज फ्रॉम द ओडी ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, you have to mention under the addition, and whatever you have repaid under the OD, you have to mention under the repayment. Your closing balance will automatically appear. Now I will talk about the CC limit. I was having opening balance of CC 8 lakh. Although this CC limit was my of the 50 lakh, but मेरा use last year 8 lakh का closing था, तो that 8 lakh is opening balance. During the year, I have utilized 2 lakh more from my CC limit, so I have mentioned in the addition. And at the end of the year, I have repaid 5 lakh in my CC limit. So practically my closing balance is the 5 lakh rupees. So I will mention here. Then I am having some term loans and the vehicle loans, जिनका हमारा opening balance था 1 crore rupees. And during the year, I have taken 25 lakh more, and I have repaid 25 lakh during the year. And there was some interest part also, which is still unpaid. So I have mentioned 50 lakh is the other adjustment, and my closing balance in 1 crore 10 lakh. So like this, so these are the 3 loans. So you can see the total of the 3 I have mentioned here. The total opening, which is this, the total addition of the year, this, total deletion of the year, this one, total adjustment, this one, and this is my total, you can say, closing balance. So now the question, how to show the agings. जब हम aging की बात करते हैं, अब देखिए इसमें क्या था, this loan of the OD I have taken during this year only, so it cannot be more than 1 year. So I have mentioned here less than 1 year. But in this column, there was earlier 8 lakh, 2 lakh more I have taken and repaid the 5 lakh. So this was my bifurcation of that. So like this I have mentioned here. So this is the way you have to show your, we can say, details of the scheduled bank loan in the DPT-3. So hope it is clear to you then how we have to show the loan of the scheduled bank in the DPT-3. So should I mention here? So I do one thing, I just mention the exact amount, 108,000,000,000. अब मैं आपको फॉर्म में फिल करके दिखा देता हूँ. 57 lakh is my addition during the year. Then 32 lakh is my repay during the year. Then 15 lakh is my other adjustment, which I can say interest income. Then my closing is 1,18,000. 1,08,000, 57 lakh, 32 lakh, and 15 lakh. So now my total is there. So by this way, I have mentioned all the amount in my DPT-3. Now I will move forward. Amount loan from the scheduled bank I have filled. Now there is the amount received from against issue of commercial paper, received from the company from the other company. अगर अब आपकी कंपनी ने किसी दूसरी कंपनी से लोन लिया हुआ है, only company, I'm not talking about LLP, I'm not talking about the body corporate, only company. I said ki yes, my opening from one company is the 50 lakh. So I will mention here 50 lakh rupees is my opening balance. During the year, I have not taken any loan, but I have repaid the 10 lakh. So I will mention here 0, I will mention here 10 lakh. And there is no adjustment, so my closing will be the 40 lakh. The next is any amount received and held pursuant to offer made in accordance with the act towards subscription of security. Anything is pending, you can mention here. Any amount received from a person who at the time of receipt amount was a director or the relative of director. This is very important for private companies. So now I said, I am having the opening loan from my director is rupees 5 lakh. And during the year, I have taken 330 lakh from my director. And I repaid also 5 lakh. So I will mention here. And there is no adjustment, then my closing will be the 30 lakh. And this 30 lakh is less than 1 year. Okay, I'm not showing the aging. I will show the aging at the end. So the next amount which we have to fill, any amount received from the bond or debenture of the compulsory convertible into share, non-convertible debenture, employee of the company, any non-interest bearing amount from any held interest, and this is also very important, any amount received in the course of business of the company. अब कंपनी ने क्या होता है, कस्टमर से एडवांस लिया होता है. अब वो कस्टमर एडवांस आपको इस बेस पे शो करना है जो आपका लास्ट ईयर का क्लोजिंग बैलेंस था वो ओपनिंग में आ जाएगा. लाइक मेरा लास्ट ईयर का क्लोजिंग था 2 लाख, वो मेरा ओपनिंग पे आ गया. During the year, there is the advance from my customer is rupees 1 lakh, which is pending. And I have served out of these 2 lakh, these 2 lakh I have served this year. So this I will show in the repaid. So my closing will be the 1 lakh, and that 1 lakh will be relating to this year. So aging is in the less than 3-year column. Next is amount for whatever received in connection with the immovable property के regarding अगर कोई advance लिया है तो इस column में आएगा. Then security deposit. I said कि yes, I am having a security deposit of rupees 5 lakh from my opening balance. During the year, also I have taken one security deposit from my opening balance or plus addition, but there is no deletion, so my closing will be the 10 lakh, and aging will be 5 lakh in less than 1 year or 5 lakh in 1 year to 3 year because that is the old amount. So this is the way we have to fill this form. Many other information are there. Advance from the project of supply of capital goods, advance for the warranty services and all, any amount borrowed by the promoter, any amount received from the Nidhi company, any amount received from the chit fund company, any received from the collective investment scheme. So many things are there, alternate investment scheme. All these you have to mention here. Once you will mention here, तो बस एक कॉलम जो मैंने अभी तक नहीं किया, मैंने एजिंग्स मेंशन नहीं किया है. लेट मी मेंशन द एजिंग्स फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू सो दैट वी कैन सी कि एजिंग्स के बाद इस फॉर्म को हम आगे लेके चलते हैं. अब एजिंग्स मेंशन करनी है, हमने अपनी एक्सेल शीट बनाई है, उसी एक्सेल शीट से हम एजिंग्स मेंशन कर लेते हैं यहाँ पर. तो सबसे पहले हमने एक्सेल शीट में कौन सा लोन लिया था? सबसे पहले हमने एक्सेल शीट में लोन लिया था this one, loan from the banking company. So our aging was 50 lakh in more less 50 lakh we have taken this year only, so it is coming under the less than 1 year, and the remaining is 1 year to 3 year. So let me come back on the screen. Here we have mentioned this, so here I will mention 50 lakh less than 1 year because ये मैंने इसी year में लिया है. और here I will mention 70 lakh. So total is my 1 lakh, sorry 5 lakh and 7 lakh. So I have mentioned this. The next I will mention, this is loan from the scheduled bank. So these are the 3 categories. 55 lakh I have to mention here, less than 1 year. And then 31 lakh in 1 year to 3 year, which is coming under this column. Then 32 lakh we have to mention here. Like this, we will mention all the figures in our DPT-3. Here I think I made some, there are some calculation. I will just check my calculation. This plus this plus this minus 32. Okay, this will be the 1,48,000. Sorry, I have a calculation issue. So my total calculation will be, this is my opening balance plus this is my addition during the year. This is my repay during the year plus this is my adjustment. So adjustment के साथ this is 1,48,000. Out of this, This is my during the year, so I will mention here 57 lakh. And I will say out of this 57 lakh, I will say here कि मेरा पुराना कोई भी लोन नहीं है, then I will show it like this. 91 lakh. So 57 lakh will be here and 91 will be here. Here I will mention the 0. So it will be so total is my 1 crore 48 lakh. So here is the 51 lakh, 57 lakh. Here is the 91 lakh. It is again not matching. Okay, I will come back on this because ये थोड़ा फॉर्म का भी चलता रहता है इधर. So now the any amount received by the company from the other company, यहाँ पे एजिंग्स है हमारे पास जो चल रहा है, पुराना लोन चल रहा है, नया कोई भी नहीं है. So this 4 crore I will mention here only. The next one is this. ये था हमारा लोन फ्रॉम द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी, जो हमने ड्यूरिंग द ईयर भी 30 लाख लिया था और हमारा जो बैलेंस था आउटस्टैंडिंग क्लोजिंग वो सिर्फ ड्यूरिंग द ईयर वाला ही था, तो हम इसको यहाँ पे मेंशन करेंगे लेस देन 1 ईयर. देन नेक्स्ट हमने अमाउंट फिल किया था दिस वन, एडवांस फ्रॉम द सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स. यहाँ पे हमारा ड्यूरिंग देखो जो ओपनिंग था वो रीपे हो गया था, तो ड्यूरिंग द ईयर का 1 लाख था, तो हमने लेस देन 1 ईयर में यहाँ पे 1 लाख रुपए अमाउंट मेंशन कर दिया. देन हमारा नेक्स्ट था सिक्योरिटी डिपॉजिट. 5 लाख रिसेंट ईयर का है, 5 लाख ओल्डर देन 1 ईयर था, तो हम इसको यहाँ पे 2 कॉलम में मेंशन कर देंगे. तो वी हैव मेंशन ऑल द अमाउंट. आवर फॉर्म इज क्लियर, बट हमारा ऊपर एक अमाउंट रह गया था विच इज शोइंग रेड. लेट अस जस्ट कंप्लीट दैट अमाउंट आल्सो. आवर क्लोजिंग वाज 1 crore 48 lakh. Out of 1 crore 48 lakh, I have mentioned here 57 lakh. We will mention here 91 lakh. It is again not showing. So it is now clear. So we have mentioned all the amounts. Now see, here is the credit rating obtained. Credit rating is not required. The particular note considered as deposit. So we will just click on the save button and we will move forward to the next. Here next, see here the asking for the documents. If you have clicked on the particular note considered as deposit, you don't require to attach any attachment in this form, because for the particular note considered as deposit, there is no requirement of any attachment. Attachment सिर्फ उसी केस में लगानी है जब हम डिपॉजिट के केस में फाइल करेंगे. Then declaration by the statutory auditor. Statutory auditor की DSC भी सिर्फ उसी केस में चाहिए जब आपने डिपॉजिट पे क्लिक किया है. जब आपने पर्टिकुलर नोट कंसीडर एज डिपॉजिट पे क्लिक किया है, देन यू डोंट रिक्वायर टू मेंशन एज द डीएससी ऑफ द ऑडिटर. नाउ यू हैव टू मेंशन द हियर रेजोल्यूशन नंबर एंड डेट जिसमें आपने डायरेक्टर को ऑथराइज किया फॉर्म सर्टिफाई करने के लिए, एंड यू हैव टू अफिक्स द डीएससी ऑफ डायरेक्टर हियर. उसके बाद जैसे आप सेव करेंगे, नेक्स्ट करेंगे, जैसे बाकी सभी फॉर्म्स को अपलोड करते हैं उसी वे में हम इस फॉर्म को अपलोड कर देंगे. सो दिस इज द कंप्लीट वे ऑफ द फाइलिंग ऑफ द DPT-3. सो वी हैव ट्राइड कि प्रैक्टिकली हम डिस्कस पार कर पाए कि DPT-3 फाइल होता कैसे, बिकॉज बहुत सारे लोगों ने मेरे से ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था और बहुत सारे लोगों की डिमांड थी कि हम प्रैक्टिकली डिस्कस करें. सो आई हैव ट्राइड टू डिस्कस दैट. अब नेक्स्ट 15-20 मिनट आई विल जस्ट ट्राई डू वन थिंग. आई विल टेक द क्वेश्चन ऑफ द ऑल द पर्सन, देन एट द एंड वी विल डिस्कस कि अगर किसी को DPT-3 फाइल करते वक्त एरर आ रहा है, दैट एरर इज द DSC वेरिफिकेशन फेल, तो एरर कैसे रिजॉल्व करना है, दैट आई विल लेट यू नो एट द एंड ऑफ दिस सेशन. So there are the some questions जो questions मैं take up कर लेता हूँ one by one. So the first question, in the last year we have put figures which were unaudited. So I'm opening balance will be, we will show audited figure now. Practically see ma'am, last year you have mentioned the unaudited figure that was already a non-compliance for the last year, because the provision under rule 16 and rule 16A last year was also same that your figure should be audited figure. Although you have mentioned the unaudited figure and there is a non-compliance, that non-compliance is relating to the last year. So this year I will say, mention the actual audited figure in the opening balance. Don't compare it with the last year figure. Next question. This is regarding DSC. It's showing DSC signature verification failed. As I said, DSC verification failed. I will take up at the end of the session and I will practically show कि how we can try to resolve it. See, practically जब MCA error की बात होती है ना, I cannot say कि it is fully resolved because वो तो MCA ही कर सकता है. But as a professional जितना हमने research किया है, जितना हमने try किया है, we can try on the basis of that कि हम कुछ level तक resolve करवा पाए. Because the way I'm going, I will discuss at the end. 80% people said कि उनके DSC verification error resolve हो गए हैं. Next question, should we file return of deposit for this year? Yeah, sorry, they have asked if a private company has taken loan from shareholder before commencement of the act and company has filed it as an exempted deposit. See, sir, you have taken the loan from shareholder whether before this act, whether after this act. It is allowed you to take the it is allowed for you to take the loan from the shareholder. But the thing is that shareholder loan is not covered anywhere under the particular not considered as deposit. So you don't have option. You have to show loan from shareholder in the deposit category only. So deposit category में ही particular consider as a deposit category में ही आपको loan from shareholder को दिखाना पड़ेगा. अगर आपने आज तक उसको non deposit category में दिखाया तो I will say that is a non compliance. बिकॉज शेयर होल्डर से लोन अलाउड है, बट डीपीटी 3 की बात करें तो मिनिस्ट्री ने डीपीटी 3 के लिए कहीं भी शेयर होल्डर लोन में इसको अलाउड नहीं किया है. सो आपको डिपॉजिट ही सिलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. एक और इससे रिलेटेड बस क्वेश्चन है मेरे पास जो बहुत सारे लोगों को आ रहा है कि कंपनी ने एचयूएफ से लोन लिया, वो कहां शो होगा? फर्स्ट थिंग, अगर एचयूएफ आपकी शेयर होल्डर है, इफ एचयूएफ इज द शेयर होल्डर ऑफ योर कंपनी, then only you are allowed to take loan from the HUF. Otherwise, you are not allowed to take the loan from the HUF. So, if HUF is your shareholder and you are taking loan from the HUF, then you have to show it in the deposit along with the loan from the other shareholder. Now, next question by one person. If a private company is a wholly owned subsidiary of a foreign company, right, and it's take loan from the shareholder, will it go under the foreign body corporate to be treated as a deposit? See, if you are taken loan from the foreign body corporate, so definitely there is a separate category for the loan from the foreign body corporate. Definitely जब आपने foreign body corporate से लोन लिया है तो आरबीआई की फेमा की गाइडलाइंस तो फॉलो की होगी जो एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग है. जब आपने उन गाइडलाइंस को फॉलो करके फॉरेनर से लोन लिया है तो आप इसको सेकंड नंबर कैटेगरी में लोन फ्रॉम द फॉरेन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट में शो करेंगे. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, generally private company take loan from the bank and charges is created on the sale. However, charges that it filed on number 14 option is unavailable if we click on the radio button for exempted deposit. Yes, for the exempted deposit, this form is not asking us to mention the charges details. So if anything is form is not asking, we cannot mention forcefully. Next question, when a private company receive a loan from other private company, and it observed that one of the director of the company hold 99% stake in the company B and 70% stake in the other company, this loan transaction should be disclosed. See, ma'am, I'm not going into the percentage ki how many shares they are holding here and there, because DPT3 does not consider कि आपने जिस कंपनी से लोन लिया है उसमें आपकी क्या शेयर होल्डिंग है, इसका कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. DPT3 is the simply saying if you have taken any loan from the other company, you have to mention under the DPT3. So as per your question, your company A is they have taken the loan from the company B. So you have to show it into the loan from the other company category. Next question. This is regarding the term loan. Private company have taken a loan for 5 years. In the company's third year, they have paid 3 lakh and rest amount is outstanding in future 2 years. How should I split it? First, you have to check as on 1st April 2022, whether it was the 2 lakh or whether it was the 5 lakh. I will say कि आपने 3 lakh last year में पे कर दिया था तो आपको opening balance is the 2 lakh. Addition is 0, repayment is 0, closing will also 2 lakh. And जो आपको easing में देना है, अभी आपका already 3 साल पुराना लोन है तो more than 3 year वाले में आपको ये आपको लोन मेंशन करना पड़ेगा. Next question. Next question I have received from a person. They are asking, if the last year there was only one loan and that was repaid, do we need to file DPT3? See, अगर इस साल 31st March there is no outstanding, there is a nil balance of the loan and advances, then there is no need to file the DPT3 form. Next question, if a private company is a wholly owned subsidiary of a foreign company, yeah, I have already taken this. Next question, I have an unsecured loan and some amount I have converted to paid up equity. Okay, hope you have followed the process that at the time of taking the loan, you have filed the MGT 14 and passed the special resolution. That then you said ki after conversion that I have shown in any other adjustment by reducing the amount and converted into paid up. See, first mention the opening loan. Then whatever amount you have converted into equity, show into the other adjustment as minus. Then your closing balance will be there. Bhavika, I understood that foreign companies you are shareholder in your query, but you have taken the loan. You have taken the loan from a body corporate, foreign body corporate, then you have to show it into the foreign body corporate category only. Next question. One second. Is there any non-compliance under section 74 if loan taken before commencement of the act from the shareholder still outstanding? No, it is not a non-compliance because it is allowed to carry the loan from the shareholder. So I think this question is clear. Now let me take the another question. So someone asked for term loan. Private company has taken loan for 5 years. Yeah, I have already taken this. Someone mentioned, dear sir, in IND AS, in Indian Accounting Standard adjustment required to be disclosed under DPT-3. So those adjustments are not required to show here. You just have to mention the simple figure here from your tally data or your audited data. Okay, someone asked, but if the shareholder and the director are same, then how we will show this loan? This question I have already taken in my last webinar also. I have also published a video specifically on this question also. I will just again repeat it. See, if a person is your shareholder and director, both category, then first please check what process you have followed to take the loan. If you have followed the process of loan from director, then show it as a director. If you have followed the loan from shareholder, then show it as a loan from shareholder. Next, can an unlisted public company accept deposit from director, and will that be treated as exempted deposit? See, deposit ki definition is same for the public company and private company. So even a public company is taking loan from the director and director has given the declaration of own fund, and it is an exempted deposit for public company also. Next question, where to show loan from Nidhi company? If you have taken any loan from Nidhi company, there is no specific category for that. You have to show it from the loan from the other company. Next question, if a company receive a loan from an individual who was a director at the time of giving the loan but has since resigned from the position of director, kindly advise. See, even though that person has been resigned, but the time you have taken the loan, you have to consider that time. That time that person was a director of the company, so you have to show it in the category of the director of the company only. Next question, private company generally directors give unsecured loan, but they don't demand the same unless required. Can we consider assing loan less than 1 year since the amount is not outstanding? No. See, director have given the loan. Although they are not demanding any repayment or interest, you cannot say it is less than 1 year. You have to see actually when you have received it, and accordingly you have to bifurcate it in the assings. Next question, what if director and shareholder is the same person, the company has borrowed loan from him? I have already given the answer of this. Next question, can private limited company accept loan from the HUF? So loan from the HUF, I have already discussed. If the HUF is the shareholder, you are allowed to take the loan. Next question, whether private company allow accept loan from relative of directors HUF? No, director की relative की HUF से loan नहीं ले सकते, ये deposit माना जाएगा. हाँ, but अगर वो member है तो member तो कोई भी हो तो आप ले पाओगे. Next question, advance from customer exceed 365 days. We have to mention on DPT-3 or not? Very good question. If there is an advance from customer and that is older than 365 days, then for that purpose, you have to click on the deposit remote button. Because 365 दिन से ज्यादा का advance deposit बन जाता है. Then you don't have to mention it under the particular considered deposit. You have to mention it under the deposit category. Next, generally private company have taken loan from the ये हो गया है. Will this balance be treated as we have received advance from customer in the beginning of the year against the 3 year of service. Monthly billing is given to the customer. As on 1st April 2024, month advance balance is with the C. If you have taken the advance, for that you have to check whether you are falling under the exempted categories or not of the DPT deposit definition. If you are not falling under the exempted category of deposit, then ये deposit माना जाएगा आपका. Then the next question, If the audited figure are not available, is it proper to wait the until audited figure are available and file the form? See, आप wait कर सकते हो, कोई मना नहीं है, आप audited figures का wait करो. But as I have said in the starting of this session, that if you are filing delayed by after due date, you are liable for the additional fees as well as the penalty. Next question. In case of a loan by a company through an overdraft facility for working capital requirement, this is not complete question. Sir, what about Nidhi company deposit? I have already said if you have taken anything from the Nidhi company, show it in the loan from the other company. Now one person is asking, while calculating the agings of loan for DPT-3 reporting, could you clarify whether less than 1 year refer to a 12-month period or the company financial year? That is a 12-month period. If there is no transaction, the opening balance and closing balance are same. Do we need to file DPT-3? Yes. Even you are having the closing balance of even a single rupees, you have to file the DPT-3. In case of loan company through overdraft facility, OD I have already discussed, but even while showing the practical also. इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट इंक्लूड होगा डीपीटी में? यस, अगर आपका 31 मार्च को कोई इंटरेस्ट अक्रूड है जो आपने पे नहीं किया है, यू हैव टू शो इट इनटू द डीपीटी 3 इन द एडिशन कॉलम. If a company take loan from its shareholder using borrowed fund, and kindly advise whether this loan should be considered under the definition C. शेयर होल्डर बोरो करके भी लोन दे सकता है. शेयर होल्डर के ऊपर कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है कि वो अपने ओन फंड से देगा. Restriction is only on the director, that director will give from his own fund. So shareholder अगर borrowed fund से भी देता है, it is allowed. If a company take loan from the director and director provides such loan from the borrowed fund, अगर कंपनी ने डायरेक्टर से लोन लिया है and director is taking it from already taken it from the loan from somewhere, then it is not a exempted deposit from the company. It is a deposit for the company, and you have to click on the deposit category for this. You cannot click on the we can say non-deposit category, particular not considered deposit for this. Someone said we have followed the step given, but they are facing the same. As I said, sir, DSC error or MC technical error, we can tell you the solution which may work sometime, which may not work sometime, because as a professional, I can give you the interpretation of the section. I can give you the legal interpretation of the law and how to mention the figure in the form. But whatever the technical error, I can just give you some tricks. If that trick will work for you, that is a good luck for you. If that will not work, then MC can only help you in that. Working capital loan was increment from previous year in financial year by modification of the charge. If anything is increased, then you have to mention under the addition only. Next question, what is the restriction on director borrowed fund? Director borrowed fund is a simple restriction. Director can give loan only from the own fund. Director cannot give loan from the borrowed fund. अगर director borrowed fund से loan देता है, that will be considered as a deposit. That will not consider as a particular, not consider as the deposit. So any other question on this? Because I will take 2 or 3 more questions, then I will move forward to show you that how to resolve the, how we can try to resolve the MC error. That is DSC verification error. I will specifically discuss the DSC verification error, not the other error. Okay, next, the 2 more questions I'm taking. Loan taken from member exceeding the limit under Companies Act. But companies having startup certificate, where it is a non-compliance or not. See, if a company is having a startup certificate, there are the certain limits allowed to the startup. If you are falling under that limit, that is allowed. If you are going above to that limit also, then it is not allowed and it will be considered as a deposit. If a company not filed previous year DPT-3, can we file now? See, ma'am, लास्ट ईयर आपने डिफॉल्ट किया है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि इस ईयर भी आपको डिफॉल्ट करना ही पड़ेगा. लास्ट ईयर नहीं फाइल किया, वो लास्ट ईयर का डिफॉल्ट है, बट इस साल का फाइल करके इस साल के डिफॉल्ट को आप बचा सकते हो. अब someone mentioned loan taken from bank on 1st April 1 crore. Interest per principal paid during the year 10 lakh. How to give aging of the loan? See, आपने तो लिया ही 1st April 2022 को है, तो 31st March 23 तक आपका लेस देन 1 ईयर में ही फॉल करेगा. ये मोर देन 1 ईयर हो ही नहीं सकता है. So now I'm showing you how we can try to resolve the error of the DSC verification fail. See, ये कुछ steps मैंने बनाए थे and I have tried this in some of my cases, and practically out of those 90% cases we got the resolution. and we resolve and we are able to file the DPT-3. Even today also we have tried this and we were able to file the DPT-3. So I'm showing it here to you also. First step, open the signed DPT-3 form from the Adobe Reader browser. 1 second, let me share my screen with you. So first column, open the signed DPT-3 form with Adobe Reader browser. So I have opened the DPT-3 form here for all of you. Step number 2, click on the signature panel. Let's see, where's the signature panel in the DPT-3? Click on the signature panel of the DPT-3. अब अगर आपको देखो signature panel पे जाना है, so here is the signature panel of the DPT-3. Once you will click on the signature panel, this window will open. In signature panel, you will see DSC of the person whose DSC affixed in the form. Let me see. अब यहाँ पे आपको शो कर रहा है किस पर्सन का DSC यहाँ पे अटैच किया हुआ है आपने. अब उस पर्सन के DSC पे क्लिक करेंगे. Do right click on the signature and click show signature properties. So I will do the right click and there is the option show signature properties. Show signature properties करते ही ये वाली विंडो आपकी यहाँ पे ओपन हो जाएगी. These are the 4 steps. Hope we are clear. अब देखो 5th step. After click on the show signature properties, signature property tab will be open where you have to click on the show signature certificate. I'm telling you step by step. Show signature certificate, my step number 5. Then step number 6. After certificate, your tab will open where you have to click on the trust tab. 6th, I have to click on the trust tab. Then 7th, after click on the trust, will be open where you have to click on the add trust certificate. So let me see. Here is the option add trust certificate and I have to click on the OK. Then in last click, validation signature and save your form. See, now here click on every of these options. Once you will click all these options, now you have to click on the OK. So once OK, then it is done. Validate signature, close. And now you have to just save the form. So once you will save the form now, this error will be resolved. Not one important thing you have to understand here. After doing all this process, please don't open the form again. अगर आपने फाइल करने से पहले अगेन इस फॉर्म को ओपन किया तो ये जो चीजें आपने अभी की थी ये सब आपकी रिमूव हो जाएगी और आपको अगेन इसी प्रोसेस को फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. So hope I have resolved all the questions raised by the members. I have shown the practically how to resolve the error DSC verification fail. So still किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है, कोई डाउट है, there are only 3 days more for filing of DPT-3. आप चैट बॉक्स में लिखिए, आप चैट बॉक्स में मेंशन कीजिए. अब इस वेबिनार के बाद यूट्यूब पे लिखिए, कमेंट बॉक्स में, व्हाट्सएप पे मेरे से पूछ सकते हैं. आई विल डेफिनेटली बी देयर टू हेल्प यू. सो होप यू लाइक दिस वेबिनार. अगर आपको वेबिनार पसंद आया, प्लीज क्लिक ऑन द सब्सक्राइब बटन so that on the regular basis, whenever we will upload a video, we will organize a webinar, you will get a link for the same and you can gain gain the knowledge with us through this webinar. So thank you so much. Be with us and you may join our WhatsApp group also, जहां हम regular base पे updates और YouTube के links share